Come on.
Awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us for our Let's Talk Luxury call. We do this call every month, every first Wednesday. So our next call is in November. Crazy that November is nearly here. The objective of our call each month is to connect luxury-focused agents with luxury industry leaders. I'm Jennifer Scales. I'm down here in Tampa, or up here in Tampa for some of you. And Jason Smith and Anjali Gill are going to be taking over and running the rest of the call. Jason's down in Miami, South Florida, and Anjali is also in Tampa Bay. Today's call was a little bit of a pivot. We had a guest speaker who we will book again, Nikki Ubaldini, but she is busy with some relief efforts down in Southwest Florida. And so we have a different format today and a different agenda. And I think Anjali has some great updates and a great guest to give us some updates. And I think we can just get started. Anjali?
Thank you, Jen. And thank you all for making it. I know we are all disappointed that Nikki couldn't make it, but trust me, she's doing very important work out there. And Mark and Natasha are going to be talking to us about it, because when we say KW cares, we are not kidding. I mean, no company, I think, comes together the way we do to really show, I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it, to really show our agents how much we care. I have a little PowerPoint I've put together of some of the pictures I've been able to capture over the last few days that agents have shared of just, I think what I can show you is just the tip of the iceberg, because there is so much going on. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mark and Natasha, who are on the ground there and who are really making a difference. So tell us a little about what's going on and how we can all help. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Anjali. We appreciate you guys letting us on. Yeah, we're grateful to have some time to share with people, because what has been happening across the state is truly amazing. Natasha Tello is an OP for us in 4 market centers, and she's the broker here in Fort Myers. So she's been our communications lead on all of these projects that we've been doing here, including several locations. We're now at a new location today, and Natasha, the difference it's making has been unbelievable. People here have lost everything in many cases, and we're able to provide a little relief, right?
Yeah, I mean, just imagine waking up and your car is gone, your house is gone, your source of income is gone, everything, and you're starting all over. And you know, we just want to be able to be a blessing to people in whatever way we can give them some relief.
So what we have happening today is we've got generators. We have about 200 generators that we're getting out to agents who still need power. The last report we heard, there is still about 40% of agents in Lee and Charlotte County that do not have power. Some of it's coming back on, but we've got generators. What we could use more help with is we have a constant need for supplies. We have people just now coming in. This is like a KW supermarket just for our people. And we are so blessed that we've already had agents from, you'll have to help me out here, Natasha, but from Tampa, from Palm Beach, from Miami Beach, all over the state.
The whole state, all of Broward County. I mean, pretty much every one of our market centers is involved in some way, form, or fashion. Whether it was one person or 50 people, the efforts are being felt, and we can see what's happening here.
So we have offices collecting everything from water to baby supplies to crackers, you know, non-perishable things, and delivering them here. We're ready to take them in, and then people come through here and shop so that they don't have to worry about going to Publix. They need to use their money on something else. We have the need and the availability to get them supplies here, and we just call it our KW supermarket. So anything people can bring in terms of that. Right now, we know we still need canned goods. We need dry goods. What else, Natasha?
We need, diapers and a lot of the hygiene supplies. So think deodorant and just personal hygiene, razors, that kind of stuff is what we're looking for right now. That's what we're low on. Pet food's another one we could use.
Now, if you're going to collect goods in an office, or your office is collecting goods, and almost all are and have come over, we have had several people from Brevard County again today. If they're collecting there, coming over, great. If not, you can always do gift cards and get them to us at the regional office, because that helps us to also get people on their feet for supplies of any sort.
Just quick question for you. Thank you so much for what you're doing and the whole team there, Mark and Natasha. Is it cash the best? Is it hard goods? What do you prefer? What's the best?
We would prefer if you have gift cards like Visa gift cards that they can use on anything, that would be great. And as we said, coming over and you want to load up a trailer, those items that we named would be good. But either is okay. Don't feel like you have to get a trailer and run across the state. We're having people make sandwiches today that they just took one of the gift cards and they've used it to make sandwiches. They're taking out and delivering to people who are literally without homes. They're living on the street. So we need all kinds of things. And again, those would be the two ways, Jason. If you're not coming over, that's cool. Just if you could send a Visa type gift card or even a Publix gift card. There's no charge on a Publix gift card as opposed to Visa, which I think has a $5 charge, fairly minor, but there's a difference there. And then if you're coming over with goods or your office is collecting goods, then we'd love to have you down here as well.
Okay.
Mark, another quick question is there an Amazon list? Adele just asked that in the chat. Is there an Amazon list? And can people, who are up in the northern parts or, far from us really, is there any way they can get onto an Amazon list and ship stuff to you?
We haven't done Amazon delivery, Natasha.
Be settled in our new location. So for an Amazon list, we need to have drop ship available. Now we are located right next to the post office. So one of our goals today, after our trucks get in, is to go over to the post office and find out if they will receive items for us. And we can do an Amazon drop ship.
Wonderful. When you do get that information, please send it to me and I will send it out to Jen, and I'll send it out to everyone on this call for sure.
So just to summarize that, because there was a lot of questions, your preference right now is that people make donations. Gift cards are your biggest preference, or hygiene, other non-perishable items to their market center, who will then get it to you. That's your preference as of this very moment?
Yeah, most market centers are collecting. Now, if they're not, then don't do that, right? But you may well have your market center collecting inside the lobby. And if they are, then that would be an easy way to do it. If you're loading a trailer of your own or loading with people with pickups, we have people with SUVs. They've all stuffed them full of all the supplies we talked about, water and so forth. And we'll take all of that. Any and all of that would be great. But don't feel like you have to drive here. And if you can't, and you've got other things going on in your world, then gift cards would be great.
That's absolutely wonderful. If I may, just to show people what you're doing, I've just got some of the pictures that I've grabbed off Facebook and stuff to show people what the efforts are, to kind of motivate them to get in there and give more of themselves. So if I may just share this with you all.
That'd be terrific.
All right. I hope y'all can see my screen. This is the constant ongoing efforts that people are putting. And I guess that, Mark, is what you're talking about, your little KW Cares superstore.
Wow.
And all the generators.
That's it. Yep. I can take you on a little tour. Yep. All the generators. Yep. You've got pictures from the inside there. That's great.
Yes, those are the KW. My favorite mode of transportation ever, the KW Cares trucks.
Amazing. 2 million almost impacted. If you were to guess how many generators that you've given out, Mark and Natasha, what would you say is the number of generators so far?
I would say it's over 600. We know that we gave out 406 in our South location, and it's about 200 in the other location. So it's over 600 that we've given out. We assembled in quick order over 900 generators down here to give out. And we've just been giving out as fast. Yesterday, we had amazing volunteers, a young group of guys who moved 150 of them from one location to another in about 3 hours, which is just unbelievable. So yeah, we've got about 950 generators, I think we got in. We have 955 agents in this, or 988 agents in this area, Jason. And the most exciting thing we can tell you about is we confirmed yesterday that all of the agents are safe and accounted for, all of them.
That is the best news of all, because I know we were really worried about agents not unaccounted for. So that is the best news of all. Excellent
news. Question. What do we just not realize? If we're not there on the ground where you are, down here in Miami, for instance, what do we just not realize about this whole recovery effort and the whole storm? think we lost you,
I
Mark.
I think he froze.
And Natasha. Okay. Okay. Well, great. That was very helpful information.
I think if he comes back, he was going to give us a tour of the facility they're at. And my gosh, it is just amazing how we have come together and how much we're impacting the lives of people out there. We've seen pictures coming in from the agents that have gone there, homes that have like 2 inches of mud still left after all the water's gone, fish in them, all their goods totally destroyed. I know our office is collecting, so please come by and drop off whatever you can. I'm sure Miami is, all the offices are.
Yeah, so I just put a note there. In short, if your office is donating, then you can donate to your office and they will deliver the goods. If they are not, if your office is not participating or doesn't have the means to participate, just email us. We put an email address in the chat and we'll give you an address to get it to, whether it's one of our market centers or whether we're provided a direct address later on. So we'll help you coordinate that. And again, gift certificates are easy to secure, and hard goods are good as well, hygiene related, pet foods and things like that. Oh, looks like Mark's moving again. He's no longer frozen.
Yes.
Yeah, what happened was we overheated out here. So we had the sun out, we were out in the sun. What we wanted to do is see if you guys wanted a quick tour of what we have set up here. It's amazing because we had Jose Fernandez, who does disaster relief all over the world. And he helped us set this up in a matter of hours. We blew this warehouse out and then started loading supplies and set it up. Natasha can take you on a quick tour. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to turn it around.
Okay.
We're going to show you and we'll kind of walk you through. So here we've got our water station going on where our cleaning supplies and canned good foods. Here are volunteers. Volunteers.
Natasha, we can't see anything right now. Oh, now you're back. Now you're back.
Now back. All right, let's start again. So there's our water, our cleaning supplies, canned foods. We've got some of our volunteers who are going to say hello quickly. This is our KW Luxury Group. And dry food. Here we've got some baby items. Along this side, all of the, feminine hygiene products, trash bags. And then you can see behind there all of our generators and the very strong men who are going to get those generators out. As we walk around, you see we are not asking for clothing, but clothing is showing up. So we are accepting it because many people have lost everything and they can just come pick up some stuff now to get them started again. Over here, we have our Sandwich Brigade. They have this down to a science, this group over here. And what we're doing with that is we're going to get that out into the community today as well. So that's just a little sneak peek. Behind all of these tarps are more generators. So just a little sneak peek on what's actually happening here.
Amazing.
Give a little better idea.
Amazing. So can you guys share a little bit more? What do we just not realize if we're not there where you are down here in Miami? What do we not realize?
I think we should walk out and show the destruction.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think the measure of destruction that's happened here is staggering. In fact, if you look where we are, you'll see that we've got a door here that actually is not functional in the building. So we have someone watching over the building 24 hours a day so that we make sure it's not compromised because the door came out. And
you can see that behind us. We're going to take you up the block quickly and just show you a community that's right behind where we are working here. Did you guys lose this again?
We see you. We hear you.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. Okay, fabulous. So we're going to take you to a community that's right behind our command center just to look at what this now looks like as the storm came through. I mean, and we're pretty far inland. We're not even on the coast.
Yeah, we've got to be 10 miles inland at least, right?
Yep. Just going to
pan right near the 75, so we're a long way in.
So it looks like we might
again.
Yeah.
Turn the camera around. See. Rubble. Jason, Anjali, can you hear us?
Now we hear you.
Now you're back.
Yes, Natasha.
You froze for a bit.
But your picture your image is frozen, and we heard you a little bit just now. And then looking at the chat box here, Anne-Marie, they're collecting in Port St. Lucie. Oh, great. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Okay, direct ships. There's a lot of good notes right there as well in the chat box, but really eye-opening and just amazing to see Mark Olesh. He's the regional director for almost 8,000 agents from Tampa to Key West. And then you see Natasha Tello, who owns 5 or 6 market centers, mega agent, just pouring their heart into this. It's pretty inspiring to see what our company is doing, what the leaders company are doing. And, you know, of those of us who weren't hit, how lucky we were and how
Mark is back.
Great, Mark.
Yeah, we're battling a little bit of the elements, the heat and whatnot, but we don't know if you could see this, but this is right across from our collection center and our KW supermarket. If I turned around, can you guys see the wreckage that's piled up here?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
That's what you're looking at.
8 miles inland.
8 miles inland. Now, a lot of this stuff is being brought in from just sort of surrounding areas, but I mean, every road is covered with trees and debris that have been moved off to the side that need to be picked up. What I just showed you is what pockets of Lee and Charlotte County look like. The Cape especially was hit really, really hard, and also down in an area of Naples. So it really went all the way from Sarasota and Arcadia and Northport and Port Charlotte, all the way down to Naples, just south Naples. And it's really devastating when you see it, because there's people, we had agents who had an office, a mega agent office they've had for 20 years, gone, just washed away. Their cars, they literally watched the building get destroyed by the wave rushing in, and then their cars floating around from the carport in 13 feet of water. So it's really was so devastating and so traumatizing that it just takes you 2 or 3 or 4 days just to get your mind around what happened in an instant. So remember, they thought it was going to Tampa until about 12 to 18 hours before it happened. And it made a right turn in here to Fort Myers Beach and Port Charlotte and this area. So it's been a lot mentally to wrap your mind around. And then knowing that you've lost your property, your cars. We've been giving people cars and helping them get emergency grants. And when you lose your property, and then your livelihood is real estate. That's what we do. We sell houses, and a bunch of the houses are gone. And the deals that we had pending are suddenly now up in the air because they had some sort of damage. It's really a shock to your system and to everything you've known. And it happened so fast.
Wow. Would you say that, I think it's a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you getting the resources you need as far as the dry goods, the money, or would you say, no, we need a lot more, folks?
But we need more. We definitely need more, because what happens is, you know, Jason, it starts out that you can't get a hold of anybody and you just want to know if they're okay. Then you get a hold of them and you know they're okay, but they're kind of in shock. So they just say they're okay. Then you find out they actually need a tarp because their roof is leaking. And then they realize I have food. So you kind of, you know, you're in this discovery process. Then you tell them where your location is. And now we've moved location. So we are just now getting to where people are coming in. And yeah, we will turn through all these supplies we've mentioned, I think, very fast. We've had people, we opened at 9 o'clock this morning. We had people coming in for generators and water and all that stuff. Do we have enough supplies today at this second? Yes. But by the end of the day, when we need more supplies, yes, because we will go through them. And we will be here through a week from Friday, at least. We'll be here through October 14th. Our goal is to take care of as many people as we can. And then if our community in KW responds the way we expect they will, because they always do, then the goal would be for our agents who are now healthy and safe and on their feet a little bit, can then start helping their clients with some of these goods that we're talking about, people who are in need and could just use a hand up. And we would love to be able to do that for them.
Mark and Jason, I'm actually here back inside the command center. I got service again, and I have with me Tyler. I wanted Tyler to tell him where he came from, because I need everybody to hear how far he drove to help us out here in our relief efforts.
So I happen to be in North Carolina this past week, and I'm a part of one of 3 market centers. And those is the Mooresville Unified Market Center, Kent Temple's Market Center. And in less than 24 hours, they mobilized a donation drive and filled up a full-size truck to send donations down here. And I'm talking about diapers and wipes and feminine products and cleaning supplies and bread and non-perishable food items, probably about 50 jars of peanut butter and jelly and all kinds of stuff that made its trip down here from Mooresville, North Carolina to make a big impact down here as well. And we were happy to do it.
Thank you, Tyler. And please thank your market center and all the people there. It's amazing. Thank you.
Anjali, there's one other thing we could ask people to do on this call.
Absolutely.
Especially if they're doing care calls. The next phase of this is, as I said, to take care of our agents and their immediate families. And then the other need we're going to have is housing, because a lot of these people literally have nowhere to go. All the hotels are full. Many of them have no power and even no water. So they need a place to stay. So if I'm an agent on this call, what I might do is call through my database and do the care call to my database and then say, by the way, can I just take a second of your time? I want you to know, did you hear about the horrible storm on the West Coast? We are helping our agents out. Many of them have been displaced and have no place to go. Do you own a property there that is rentable for somebody, or do you know somebody in your world that has a property on that coast that's rentable that they might be able to house themselves in for a period of time? If we could get help with people collecting those names and possible places to stay, that would be an enormous help. Even if it's for a week or 2 weeks, that would be terrific.
Thank you, Mark. Good to know. And there's some questions
Absolutely.
here from Glenn Rice in the Coral Gables Capital Market Center, Keller Williams Capital. Is the address for KW Center posted somewhere where Mark is currently located?
Jason, I'll answer that so that everybody has a clear answer, and I'll put it in the chat. The link that I've put there, KW South Florida region, the relief link has, if you scroll to the bottom, it has the, and I'm going to put it fresh and center. Mark, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure everybody has the clear answers they need to support you. So I just put that link, kwsouthfloridaregion.com/relief is how you can donate cash. But the bottom of that page is the command center. Mark, I'm going to guess that you guys have updated it. Is it the 14970 Technology Court? Is that where you guys are at now? You said
that's exactly right. We moved here yesterday afternoon, so we're on Technology Court. We are not, just so you know, we're not really putting that on public Facebook because there is an element of looting happening. We were talking to the Naples police 2 nights ago, and they said their biggest challenge is looting. People are literally just going through houses where people have left, or they are seasonal, and they're going in and stealing everything that's not nailed down. So we don't want to encourage the public to do that. But it's great as an in-house note for people to know that, especially if you're bringing goods here and such. So that's kind of how we're doing that. All the offices know, all the agents know, and their immediate family.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Mark Benson, who lives in Naples, that was very affected by the storm, is on this call as well. Mark, you have your hand raised.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you, Mark and Natasha and Tyler and everyone who's helping out at the command center. Before I talk about Naples, I want to ask Mark Olish, while you're still there. In our area, there are some underprivileged areas, and their call for help had a list of supplies. And I'm wondering if you need the same things. And that was work gloves, rubber gloves, box fans, because when they got their power back, they needed to ventilate and stir up the air to dry out their places, heavy duty extension cords. And something that's out of supply in this area is if someone lost their power but wasn't flooded, damp rid is sold out. You can't get it here, but you can find it at Home Depot in buckets for $10. So if you're bringing a truck over, any of those items be gratefully received.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with you 100%, Mark. That's a great list of things. Think of some people had 4 to 5 feet of water in their house, and they're really not going back in. Some had a foot of water in there, and the things you're talking about, Mark, will really help them to wipe that down, clean that up, and maybe make that habitable relatively quickly if we can get them those supplies. So those are great items, Mark. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, if the work gloves and the rubber gloves are sold out also. So if somebody's going to be at a Walmart and you can get those, because there are a lot of people that you get bleach, but then you got to put your hands in the bleach with a sponge. You know, all those things help.
Yeah, we're even getting N95 masks as well, because they recommend that you really not go into your property after 3 or 4 days of water having been in there without one. So we're collecting those as well.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Just curious, how many market centers do you think were directly impacted by this storm?
Well, I'm really on top of South Florida, of course, because I'm the South Florida Regional Director, but we've partnered with North Florida. So we have 5 that are in South Florida and 988 agents. And we called through that whole list to make sure everyone was okay. And then in North Florida, you had, I would say, 3 or 4. You had Lakewood Ranch and Sarasota, and I think Inglewood and maybe Venice. So probably I would say 8 to 10 market centers. Some of them got more damage than others. Most of ours in South Florida are okay. Actually, we lost the mega agent office on Fort Myers Beach. We have obviously massive damage to Sanibel Island. And then we have our building has been closed in Fort Myers and may not reopen until the end of the week. We have a little bit of damage, but that should be serviceable relatively quick. The rest of the office locations in South Florida have been okay. And I don't know if I shared this with you. Was I able to share with you, or did you guys lose me before I shared the piece about the helicopters?
We missed that.
No, we didn't hear that.
So yesterday, when we were going from Estero Church, which was our original location, we're moving up here about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We pulled to a stoplight at Alico Road, if you know this area, and we were waiting a minute or two. And we looked up, and you could see a military helicopter going across the sky, and another one coming back. So one going from right to left, and one going back from left to right. And I said to Natasha Tello, what is that? Where are they going? And she said, well, that's the beach. They're going to the beach. And we have heard tell that they closed down Fort Myers Beach because literally there are bodies that have washed onto shore on the beach.
Really?
And these helicopters are picking people up, right? Some of it was rescue efforts on Pine Island and the outlying islands, but some people didn't make it. And there are ambulances, as we made a left-hand turn, that we saw that are not typical ambulances. Those look like the ambulances you saw in COVID that were just carrying bodies back. And for just a minute, you had a chance to stop and remember what Mo Anderson has told us for years. If we do the right thing as a company, and we behave the right way, and we treat each other the right way, and we treat the community the right way, and remember God, family, and business, God will keep his hand on this company. If we get arrogant and we get full of ourselves, he will not. And I thought, well, we must be doing something right, because we could account for 955 people, 988 people rather, that were our agents, and they're all okay. They're all okay. And some people are not going home. Some people were lost in the storm. And I think you're going to see the number mount as time moves on, because the recovery efforts have really just started in some of those areas. And we should be so grateful that we're part of this KW family and this KW team.
Amazing. Amazing what you're doing, what you and the team are doing, friend. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Yeah, that storm surge was unbelievable. To see it in time lapse, it doesn't surprise me to hear what you're saying, because it was just so devastating. Yeah.
Yeah, it was truly devastating. And the amount of volunteers that we've had, and people that had a mission and a purpose about what they knew, from Jose knowing how to set up these command centers, to Natasha having magnificent communication skills and some teamwork people, and Adrian Lindemann, who's helped us set up the command center from logistics. Michael Burke, who's in the Naples office, has been unbelievable moving these generators for 4 straight days. He's been running a forklift, and not always 100% safe, but he hadn't hurt anybody yet. But he's been moving these generators.
That works.
It's 950 generators on massive pallets. And just the logistics of stacking that, and guys that we called in Tampa, like Jack Baytall and Dennis Strait and Garrett Grimes, and they just called 5 minutes. They ran over to the Lowe's and started loading these things at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday night. So, you know, the coolest thing about our community is, as campy as it may sound, when people are in need, because we understand what life is really about. It's not about selling real estate, and it's not about making a lot of money. It's about what the money can do, especially when you really need it. And that's what people have done, given their money and time to make a difference when this area has been truly, truly devastated.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just curious how we could make this conversation and what you're sharing with us be seen by as many people as possible. Is it something that we could share on our Facebook pages or not? Because it's primarily for Keller Williams and their family. And you said, you don't want too many people necessarily knowing about it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't mind them knowing about the relief effort. What we don't want to be a little bit discretionary about right now is the exact location of this. As I say, just because of the nature of what's happening down here, and we don't want any sort of confrontation. If somebody thinks they can come down here and steal a bunch of stuff, we've got security here, but we would prefer that. Other than that, I think the rest of it, if you want to share that, you could share that with KWRI and get their thoughts on it. We could see how we could get that out and maybe just be careful about the location.
Okay, thank you so much. It's valuable information you're sharing with us.
Yeah, and if you have anyone on this call that wants it, they're bringing down goods, we'll make sure that you have it, or hopefully you guys wrote it down. And we'd love to have our people. We will keep the location just sort of in-house at this point.
Absolutely.
And Mark, I have a question. As far as coming down and helping, do you have people that need us to deliver stuff to their homes or to where they're staying if they don't have a vehicle?
Yeah, we absolutely. In fact, what's funny is one of the things about life is mindset, right? So we created a needs form and we created a lodging form and all these things. And so people put down their needs and they'll put it on a piece of paper or in a digital format. But then they're either unable to get here or pride and just belief that somebody else is worse off than them will keep them from doing that. So what we've done this morning is we've gone back through the list of people who said they need a generator or they need water or they need food or they need baby formula or they need personal hygiene products. And our volunteers here have begun calling them. And then the last question is, okay, do you want to pick that up? And do you know the location or do you need it delivered? And in fact, just before we hopped on this call, we had a group running down to Bonita Springs, which is back about 25 minutes south of here, to deliver to somebody. We have a lady over in Fort Myers who is an agent of ours who, when she saw the supermarket post come up, said, oh my gosh, I'd love to come up there and get stuff, but I don't have a car. My car's gone. It's been washed away. So we have people delivering to her. So yes, we definitely have that. And the process is right now we're calling, we're finding out who needs delivery, and then the caller doesn't necessarily have to deliver. But yes, the answer to your question is we need all of that, and we're just sort of figuring that out as we go. People need delivery on that.
And you need gas for the generators because I keep hearing that there's a gas shortage. So if we have a truck and we could bring gas up or gas down.
So well, we should have you text me after this call, and Jason can get you that information. We originally had a gas truck. This is a great thing for people to know if ever you have a disaster in your area, and I hope you don't. We found a guy who fills boats. There's a guy, Mark Wimmer, who's a great guy, Jessica Wimmer and her husband who live up in our area in Tampa. They found a guy who fills boats, and he came down and filled all our gas cans. But I still believe we have more generators than we do gas cans. So at some point here, we need to revisit how many more gas cans do we need to get down here and then get filled? Because I believe at some point we will have, X number of generators left and no gas cans. The things you need are generators, extension cord, because it only comes with a 25-foot cord and they're really noisy. So we try and get people a generator, an extension cord, and some a 5-gallon tank of gas and some oil. That's what helps to set those up. So we will be in the process of looking at those supplies again. And if you communicate with me offline, then we'll get word back to Jason, or we can just do that and let him know, hey, we are going to need 100 more gas cans filled down here by the end of the week or something like that.
Great,
yes,
Mark.
please just let us know and we will send the word out to everyone, at least on this call and in our offices.
Terrific. That would be terrific.
Mark, would it be okay if I were to give the 813-340 number out for anyone who wants to contact you directly to help in the effort?
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be fine. Yep.
Okay, sending it right now. Okay, it's right there in the chat, folks.
Yeah. And then
any other questions from anyone on the call for Mark, Regional Director for KW South Region, Florida South?
yes, I have a question. I got an email from KW, and I think it was that disaster relief on Sunday, I believe, and I donated through there. How are these people able to access that money? How does that all work?
Well, some of it is in the relief funds. I apologize that I'm a little behind because we didn't get communication yesterday, but at one point we had given out $329,000 in emergency grants. The lady yesterday who said she had lost her car got a grant so that she could get herself on her feet with her car. So some of that is going to grants and other needs. And that would be the primary way I would say through KW. And then we're getting gift cards all over the country that will help as well, because when people have lost everything, $50 or $100 just to go to the grocery store or to get gas or whatever is just it's partly money and it's partly the hope that that represents, if that makes sense. So yeah, the money that you donated to KW goes to KW Cares, and that will translate into those emergency grants for people who have to find cars, all that type of stuff.
So you're able to access it that quickly. That's what I wanted to know.
Oh,
okay.
It's unbelievable how quickly they turn that around. You know, the other thing we do here now is, rather than send teams out of agents to do work that could be dangerous, we have sourced dozens of vendors who can do all the key things that need to be done quickly: cut down trees, repair roofs, you know, just to keep them from leaking, muck out the houses. And so we arrange that. And one of the things KWRI does that's so powerful in KW Cares is they hook up the vendors, they pay the vendors directly, and they get the repairs done on the house so people can move forward in the best way possible. They're not going to do new re-landscaping, but if you can't get into your house because a tree fell in front of your front door, or you can't get your garage door open, they're going to cut stuff out of the way and help you muck out the house a little bit just to get on your feet again. So it's really tremendous, all the resources that Mary Tennant and Kathy Nye, really, when they founded KW Cares and got this on its feet, their legacy lives on in this, because it's happening and there's infrastructure and there's amazing resources.
Amazing. Amazing. I have a quick question for you, Mark. For the most immediate contribution, would it be fair to say that where Jennifer Scales in the chat, she put kwsouthfloridaregion.com/relief, would that be the most immediate scalable way to help you guys versus mailing Visa gift cards or delivering hard goods to you?
Yeah, they can go to that site and they should be able to access any way that they want to donate through there. Yep. So, and we've had it both ways. Yeah, the quickest way would be that way, though. Just go to the site and you'll have a myriad of ways you can contribute.
Okay, got it. And any other? I see Mark Benson in Naples has his hand raised still. Do you have a question, Mark?
Mark, are you finding anybody who has special needs, such as needs formula, or diabetics that need foods that are not high in sugar content, anything like that?
We haven't found that yet, Mark, but I'm sure we will uncover that. Like, we didn't think of the N95 masks until a day and a half ago when somebody said, hey, they've advised me not to go back into my property unless I have a mask on. There have been a couple other things. The fans that you mentioned, charcoal we got later because people want to cook something. They want to quit eating crackers, you know, for days and days and days. So if they have a little charcoal grill or a little propane grill, you know, like sterno type deals, yeah, that kind of stuff. Those would be all helpful items too.
Excellent.
And there's a list. Go to that South Florida regional site. We have a list of things, and we're constantly updating that as we go, depending on what the needs are. Cleaning supplies we didn't originally have on the list, and when we realized that some people just had a minimal amount of water in there, but they needed gloves and bleach and wipes and all of those types of things, then we added that to the list. So it'll be good. And if you don't mind checking it today and then maybe checking back tonight or tomorrow, if your group is compiling some of those items, Clearwater is coming here in just a little bit. They filled the lobby and then went all the way down the hall, and they're bringing it all in. And as we went along and we said, hey, we actually need cleaning supplies, it just kept adding and adding and adding. So it will be very fluid, and we don't know who's going to take what today. We just know we expect people to continue coming in as they have this morning.
Yes, Tampa's also, we've constantly got agents coming from here, so we're going to keep sending things. So even if some of you all, from up north want to send stuff to our office, if the Amazon doesn't have a delivery already set up there, we can always take it from here when people are going down. That's an option as well.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
One thing that I wanted to add, because of the boil water notice, none of the ice manufacturers here in the area are able to generate ice here in the Fort Myers area, which is causing complications with people that don't have power and can't keep ice in coolers. So if somebody is coming this way and wants to bring bags of ice and coolers, that would be very beneficial as well.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing the
Yes.
little things that you don't think of that we all take so much for granted every day of our lives. It takes something like this to really give you a wake-up call and put your life in perspective again. Mark, thank you so much for taking so much of your time. I know there's so much of work going on. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and really, Natasha, Tyler, all of you, for everything you all are doing. Thank you.
Well, thank you for helping us spread the word, because this isn't possible unless we have a complete KW family pitching in to help the way they have. There's no one person, 2 people, 5 people, 10 people can do this. It takes our entire KW family, and this is a great help. So thank you for allowing us on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you shortly.
And please thank
All right, sounds
Jose as
great.
well. Okay. Thank you. Bye, guys.
You will.
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you.
Anjali, I just wanted to make sure, I know Mark Benson being on the ground there. We wanted to hear from him if he had anything to share, or with the group just being a local.
Thank you. I said on the pivot shift ahead call, I think it was, lost track of days, quite frankly, I think it was Monday. If I had one word to put around this and where we are right now, is the word is grace. That please bear with us as we go through this, that we may not respond promptly. We may not say the right thing. We may not express our gratitude in the most appropriate way. The people are dealing with a lot. And at the same time, if beyond your generous help in gifts and financial and items that you're shipping and labor that you're giving, is please remember that there are many people here whose livelihood depends on ongoing business. And not everybody was wiped out, and I feel extremely sad and want to do all I can do to help those that were. At the same time, there are people here who didn't have that effect. And I don't want to take away from the people that did, but please don't shoot us in the foot by saying that Florida is been wiped off the map, because it has not been. And not everyone was as affected as those people in the direct path of the storm. So in my area, the areas that were along the beach, areas that were on canals, including the luxury homes, many of those are in those closest areas to the beach, are devastated. People have needs such as their car got flooded out, or simply that their car won't start. I'm helping out a neighbor, their car won't start because the battery died. And you go to Walmart and they don't have a battery there, they're out of stock. So it's there are a lot of different needs that will appear. Obviously, the most critical needs need to be filled first. Some of these things are first world problems, if you will. And again, I ask for grace if I'm not saying this in the proper way, but we'll get through those things and we'll survive and we'll come through them. It's more of a matter of the care calls are appreciated, and listen to what the leadership is telling you as to what they need. I did make a note from what we were talking about, is that one person who lives on the 17th floor of a condominium building, her mother is in a hospital bed, and her husband who's in 86 has dementia, and they don't have any electricity in their building. Fortunately, the building has a generator, and it's able to provide one outlet from a ceiling outlet that they were able to adapt to provide them with a refrigerator. So, and yet many, I don't know, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I would say probably 80 to 90% of the area has had their power restored. So we're coming out of this. And yet there are still people now, a week since the storm came, who don't have electricity yet. And obviously all their food spoiled. And of course, now as I mentioned before, now the issue becomes, even if they didn't have direct water leaks, it's been a week since the air conditioner ran, and now we're concerned about mildew and those sort of things. So the damp rid can help in those regards. And then, as I asked Mark about the special needs, if there are people that you hear that are diabetic, or have children that have special food needs. When you're doing your care calls, ask those questions as well. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Well, I'm glad all of you joined us today. I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I had so many goosebumps during one call. This has been really something else. But to move on, we don't have a lot of time. So, Jason, shall we just talk about our exciting guest that's coming up in December?
Yes, kind of pivoting, switching. Our next guest coming up in December. If we were to drum roll, please, would like to get some guesses as to who this might be. It's the man himself, Gary Keller, chairman of Keller Williams, has agreed to be our guest on Let's Talk Luxury. So we're really excited to have Gary Keller giving us his insights on luxury, both as a realtor and as a consumer. So really, we don't want to miss that. And Anjali has some information here. What we want to do, it's going to be pre-recorded in advance, and it's going to air on December 7th at 11 a.m. for our December call. Question, go ahead, Anjali and Jen, in terms of questions from our group here. What would they like to add?
Yeah, so what we did want was we wanted to have Gary live, obviously, but given his schedule, that really never would work. So we would like all of you to send in a question that you would like Gary to ask Gary yourselves. And when we do the recording, we're going to ask him those questions. And like we would say, okay, this question comes to you from Adele, and she would like to know XYZ, and get Gary's takes on it. And we'll record the whole thing, and then we'll play it for you on our December call. So do write into us and let us know what your question is and which market center you're from or which area you're from, so then we can ask Gary those questions. Jennifer, being her super prompt, awesome self, has already put it in the chat. Just send all your questions to the email that we've created. That's letstalkluxurykw@gmail.com. Send us your questions so then we can ask them for you. Now, don't shoot us if we don't get your particular one asked. There's only so much time we get with the big man, so we're going to try and get in as much as we can. So please send it to us right away so then we can get it asked. And talking of guests, our next guest is another superstar. We have Brandy Coffee coming on the November. Wow, I don't believe I just said November. On the November call. So you do not want to miss her. That woman is simply amazing. She's got own market centers. She's got her own teams. The amount of hats she wears, I don't know how she even has time to breathe or eat. So we've got a lot of value coming up for you in the next few calls.
Great. Excellent. Thank you, Anjali. So let's see what else we have here. And Anjali, I think you were going to ask about suggestions.
Yeah. So since we have all of you here and this is all about you, would love to get some suggestions as to who you would like to see interviewed here as our guest speaker. So if you have any suggestions, please, again, write them into us and we would love to have them on the call. Or what are topics that are important to you that you would like us to cover on this call? Once again, this call is all about you and we're here to give you the information and to be there for you. So just tell us what you would like to hear and if there are particular people that you would like to hear from. I mean, we managed to get Gary, so you can strike that one off the list, but do give us, your inputs and we'd love to work towards that.
And Anjali, it says here, Dalton Burge in Orlando said it would be great to have Jason Abrams back again. Yeah, he was a great guest.
Oh my gosh, he was amazing. That was one of my favorite calls. Yes. What about a mastermind call? Louise, we love that idea. Yes, most definitely. We would love to have, maybe we can look at doing, like we already have speakers booked out to Jan. So maybe the Feb one, we'll do a mastermind call. Or we can, if that is something a lot of you are keen on masterminding about, we could look at doing that in between calls as well. Instead of going every month, every fortnight. Every 2 weeks. I always say fortnight and people don't get that. So every 2 weeks, maybe we can even look at doing a featured speaker and then a mastermind call and then another featured speaker. So these are all ideas we have. We want to know what you want. So write into us. The address again is let's talk luxury kw@gmail.com. Give us your suggestions. We're here to serve you.
And a quick question, a follow-up question to that from Louise Weiss in Palm Beach says, so mastermind call, can you talk a little bit about what you envision that looking like, Louise?
Sure. Hi, I'm Louise Weiss from Palm Beach County. A mastermind call where we share our best practices, things that we've had success with, things where maybe we haven't had success and we've learned lessons from, so we can help others, we can steer them. It's like our best practices.
Okay, great.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And if everyone is interested in that, we can get that going and growing, definitely. Thank you, Louise.
I think at one
Anyone
point we
else?
had hoped to do that.
Yes.
At the end of our speaker, we were going to have a guest speaker, and then we're going to have a topic to mastermind. But our speakers have been so exciting that we are never going to ask. So we never got back to that. So that's a nice reminder. I think it's with the group that we have on here, we can learn a lot from each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And moving on, I think is your hand. So basically, in terms of market updates, we're in different parts of Florida. We've got Toronto here on this call. I know we've got, it'd be interesting if you can put in the chat where you are, what market, what city you're in. I've seen Key West, I've seen Kim Vuong in Toronto. Just like a quick update for a minute or so. What are you guys seeing in the $1 million or above range in terms of the market? Just be curious to see what people are seeing. Has it become more of a buyer's market or is it still hot? Tampa, Orlando, Florida Keys.
I'm getting calls now from people that are asking, what should I price my property for? And it's hard to say. I don't know if we're going up or down simply because of the shortage of available homes now as a result of the storm. In Lee County and Charlotte County, those of you that went through Hurricane Andrew may recall the people in Homestead and South Dade ended up moving to Broward County and Palm Beach County to find homes to live in. And so Naples was, comparatively speaking, spared. And so we may see actually a rise in property values. And yet over the long term, we're not sure how the public's perception is going to be. I think if you drove down the streets here, you would notice there's some limbs down and some branches on the side of the road and some stacked landscaping in most of the areas that have been affected, but not the stacks of furniture like you're seeing and debris in Fort Myers. So I suspect within a month, a lot of this will all get cleaned up. And yes, there might be a tree that went down, but you wouldn't know it if you'd never been here that there was a tree there before. So you may not, it may return very quickly to being something that's livable. The question is going to be, is the demand going to be here? Could it be that people are not yet ready to buy, but they'd be happy to rent? Well, the problem is in a normal market, we're already sold out for winter rentals long before September or October comes along. And so therefore, there isn't going to be something likely available, especially with the lack of shortage of housing. There isn't likely to be something for a winter snowbird to come down and stay this winter. Even with the limited hotel space that's available, it may take most through the winter. Maybe those hotel rooms are all going to be booked anyway. So it's a matter of threading the needle to figure out how we move forward.
Ironic that after this situation that prices could possibly go up, you're saying, because of limited supply, less homes available. That's amazing. I have another question. I wonder what other markets would benefit in terms of where's the migration. Just as you said, after Hurricane Andrew, people left Homestead, they left Miami, and they went to Broward County and Palm Beach County, right? So are you saying that you think maybe the same thing might happen here? They might go to other close by areas?
Well, people that were planning to vacation or stay the winter or something like that, let's say that they had a place on Fort Myers Beach that they rented for the season that's no longer available. They may be calling Louise in Palm Beach County to see what's available on the East Coast, or they may be looking in where Jennifer and Anjali are to see if there are available rentals in those areas. So if you have the time available, you could put together a list of what's available, or as maybe Mark Olish said, about asking investors if they have available properties, to see if they have properties available in those outlying areas on the East Coast or further up the state where a seasonal renter could find a place, or somebody who wants to buy something. So it remains to be seen as to what the public perception is about investing here in Florida.
You nailed it. It remains to be seen. It's still unfolding. We don't know, but we'll know in the weeks and months ahead what the results are. So
hey, Mark, do you mind putting your contact, or would you like to put your contact information in the chat? People will reach out to us. I'll put in Mark Olish's contact information, but I have a feeling some people may want to reach out to you to see how they can help directly. And I wanted to make sure that, you know, that they knew how to reach out to you, and I'll include it also in our recap.
As always, on top of things. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. And some interesting updates here, market updates from different areas. So Anne Marie, Port St. Lucie, few listings from 1 to 4 million and no showings on the 1 million and three calls for the 4 million price. Kimberly, Stamford, Connecticut, starting to see price reductions in the 1 to 2 million range. Here to observe the Florida market. We put our link there for the Miami market update. It's YouTube. It's on YouTube right here. Zyrel put it up there. That is like a 45-minute conversation of what we're seeing, months of inventory, et cetera, different neighborhoods in Miami. Stamford, Connecticut, Donna is saying the Keys, that you weren't like this and you think you might benefit, your market might benefit, you might get more buyers. Glenn Rice, same for New Orleans. When Katrina hit, Houston and other large cities nearby saw a huge influx of residents from New Orleans. And I remember Magazine Street in New Orleans used to be a seedy street. After Hurricane Katrina, people from New York and California, that street was transformed with nice boutiques and restaurants as a result of Katrina. So it's interesting. That's a good point.
I might also add, Jason, in your area is, again, I don't want to distract away from what's happening in Lee County and in Charlotte County, but be careful about asking for assistance for those of us in our area that deeply need it versus painting a picture that the entire state of Florida is affected by the hurricane. Yes, I'm sure there are areas in Orlando that were affected, but when you start spreading information about the damage, then people begin to pull back and say, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing something in Florida. So be careful, be cognizant about, you might want to say something about that your area is not affected and how grateful you are that you weren't affected, so that people know that you still are open for business.
Great point, Mark. All right, folks, we're coming to an end here. Hand it over to you, Jen.
Well, that was a lot. You know, here's the long and the short of it. The relief efforts link is in the chat several times, but I just put our email there. We have a group email now, Anjali, Jason, and I monitor. It's called Let's Talk Luxury KW@gmail. So if there's some information you need, just follow up. The areas, you know, obviously the most urgent topic today was the hurricane relief. I'm going to put this website here one more time, but if you miss it, just, you know, remember to reach out to us. We'll help you. Your market centers are collecting and delivering things. If you are somebody was in Phoenix, just reach out to us, and we will help you find a way to help everybody that's doing all the great work. Gosh, I think that's really, I mean, in short, reach out to us about it, about any relief efforts. We'll help you find a way. And then also reach out to us. I don't want this to get missed because we want to make sure that your voice is heard and our group is heard. But Gary Keller questions, get us some good ones. What do you want us to ask Gary on our interview? We'll be interviewing him in November at the end, and then it'll be shared on our December call, and we'll make sure to set aside some time on our December call to discuss what we talked about as well. But certainly if you've got any questions and have always wanted the opportunity to ask Gary, make sure that you're submitting those to the email provided, and we will make sure that he hears your questions. Sorry for the little all over the place ending here. November 2nd is our next call. If you are getting emails, you will get an email about that. If you're not getting emails, send me a note or that email that I just put there, and we'll get you on the list. That's about it in a nutshell. Anything that I've missed, Anjali, Jason?
No, I think that was a perfect wrap up. Thank you all so much for being here. And please open up your hearts and your wallets and just give to all those people that have been hit. We were spared. We were blessed that we were spared, but so many of them weren't. So give, please. Thank you, and see you on the next call with Brandy Coffee.
Thank you for an amazing call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adele, and thanks for sending out that email asking for supplies already. Thank you.
Bye, folks. Take care.
Bye-bye.